Insurance quotes from over 40 companies from the comfort of your home. She'll show you how to navigate the confusing healthcare system. Tammy's been in the business a long time, and she's seen a lot of changes in the system. Believe me, it can be confusing. So stop stressing out and call Tammy Rowe at 631-4795. 631-4795. Tammy knows her stuff.
Say hello to Iowa City's best new place to eat, Billy's Hi Hat. Billy's knows breakfast. That's why they're offering American and Mexican breakfast all day. Everything from chilaquiles, eggs Benedict, to waffles and brioche French toast. Check out their homemade soups and salads, pan-fried tenderloin, salmon BLT, Reuben roasted corned beef brisket, and andouille poor boy and more, including vegetarian options. Billy's Hi Hat Diner does custom menus for any occasion and is available for nightly rentals too. Billy's Hi Hat Diner, 630 Iowa Avenue. Call 519-2522.
Hi, Patrick Keys with Geary Brothers Ford in Iowa City. When it comes to affordability, Geary Ford is here for you. Cars, trucks, SUVs to fit every budget, like the brand new 2018 Fiesta, starting at just $13,952. Or take up to $5,000 off new 2018 Ford Focus. Or choose from over 100 used vehicles starting at $44.95. Here for you, Geary Brothers Ford in Iowa City, or shop online at GearyFord.com.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Here is your KCJJ forecast today. A few sprinkles this morning. It'll be mostly cloudy here for much of the day, then becoming partly cloudy here by later this afternoon. High of 62. The wind southwest becoming west at 10 to 20. Clear tonight down to 42 tomorrow. A few sprinkles in the morning, then sunny, breezy, and colder. Our high right around 50 on Sunday. Mostly sunny with a high of 52. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 49 degrees.
Weather brought to you by the Westport Touchless Auto Washes at Walmart in Iowa City and Coralville's High V. AllHawkeyes.com brought to you by Big Dog TV and Internet, serving all of eastern Iowa with Dish, DirecTV, Internet, and more. Call Kevin. Call local. Don't call an 800 number. Call Big Dog at 338-6600. Brought to you by Active Endeavors, downtown Iowa City. Zephyr's Printing and Design and Imprint and Ink on the Ped Mall. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. Sittler's LED Supplies. GT Car and his crew at Supple Siding and Remodeling. Mike's Lock and E-Keys for cars. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. And Premier Automotive in North Liberty. Hit a deer. Call Premier. From allhawkeyes.com, here's Pat Harty, and we've got Brandon Myers on the line.
Brandon, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I appreciate you coming on. I know I didn't give you a lot of notice, but I wanted to have you on for a while. And with the Iowa tight ends playing the way they're playing right now, I figured there was a lot to talk to you about. First of all, just kind of update our listeners on what you're doing right now.
Well, I actually live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay,
in the
so
northwest suburbs. My wife and I are here. We just had a baby boy. He's about 15 months now.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Just enjoying life after football. Been a couple years now, so I was kind of getting the itch again, and now I decided that I was going to try coaching. So I'm coaching here at the local high school.
Oh.
And things have been going good. It's been fun, so I'm just kind of enjoying things right now.
Well, I was looking. You played 7 years in the NFL. I mean, that's twice as long as what the average NFL career is. So I don't know how to put this, but how does that change the course of your life when you can play that long in the NFL? I mean, that puts you in a position that just a lot of people don't ever come close to achieving that. Just talk about some of the perks for that. I mean, it seems like you really stayed a long time in the league, and that kind of changes the course of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, it got me out of Prairie City, which isn't a bad thing.
I know.
I grew up there in small town Iowa. I got to experience some things that maybe if it wasn't for the NFL, if it wasn't for the University of Iowa, maybe I wouldn't have been able to experience.
Sure.
I met some great friends along the way. So it was definitely a blessing. I really enjoyed my time. Met some great people, like I said, and I'm very blessed. That's for sure.
Speaking of your upbringing in Prairie City, the first time I ever heard about you was actually for basketball. I think you were like a freshman or a sophomore, and somebody who kind of a basketball junkie, described you as a better all-around Hurl Beachum. Do you remember Hurl Beachum played at Iowa State and played at Des Moines North? I don't know. Do you remember him at all?
I do not.
Okay, well, he was a really good player. But what I'm getting at is basketball, that was a sport you were very accomplished at. Was there ever a time you thought maybe that's what you were going to play, the sport?
There was absolutely. You know, I was very fortunate. My parents allowed me to travel on AAU teams, to be gone, you know, play against some of the better competition around, not just the state, but around the United States. And, you know, there for a while, I thought it was going to be something I was going to do in college. But, yeah, I just kind of realized after, I think it was the Nike All-American camp, I kind of realized that if I wanted to continue playing after college, it might not be basketball. So I kind of focused my attention on football, and things worked out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you made the right choice. Now, were you committed to Northern Iowa? I can't remember. I was trying to go, and then you switched to Iowa. Take us through the recruiting process you had at Iowa that led you to Iowa.
Yeah, it was kind of strange looking back at it now. You know, everything worked out, obviously, but, you know, I was a small-town kid. Wasn't necessarily the highest recruited guy. There was a few guys ahead of me that kept telling me, well, you know, if he commits somewhere else, you know, we'll give you a scholarship. And I just felt like I made a promise to my parents that I was going to get college for free. So it was one of the things where it was kind of getting late in the game there in the recruiting process. And you know, I always wanted to go to Iowa. You know, every kid growing up in Iowa, you know, listening to them on the radio, listening to games, watching them run out of the tunnel. But it was getting late, and you know, I made a visit to UNI. I had a great time. All the coaches, the players were great, and then you know, they offered me a scholarship, and it was pretty tough to turn down. You know, free school. My parents weren't going to have to pay for anything. And for whatever reason after that, it just seemed like, you know, UNI then offered me to play basketball as football as well. And then Iowa came in and they offered me a scholarship at the last moment. And, you know, like I said, that was one of my dreams growing up. So that was pretty tough to turn down. So that's where I ended.
Wow, what a story. And what was it like to be able to pay for your own school? That had to be something you were so proud of, because obviously it made it a lot easier on your parents.
Yeah, exactly. You know, my parents are hardworking people, just like a lot of people from where we're from. You know, they have their own business. You know, I knew it'd be a lot for them to pay for it, and it was just one of the things where you know, all the camps they took me to, you know, I traveled around the United States playing different sports. You know, it was just one of the things where I was kind of paying them back, and you know, I was happy to do that. It was a great experience, that's for sure.
Okay, you get up here, and I mean, Kirk Ferentz calls situations like, he calls them great stories. You get here, you bide your time, and then you become a starter. You do your thing on special teams. You become a starter. When did you start to think, wow, I mean, maybe I can do more than just playing college? I mean, you played extensively for 2 years at Iowa, but when you were a senior, were you thinking, wow, I've got a chance to play at the next level? Or did you surprise yourself by playing and lasting so long in the NFL?
Yeah, it was definitely probably my senior year. But there for a while, you know, I really wasn't sure. You know, coming from a small school, being the best at every sport or whatnot, going to Iowa, you know, everybody's good. And it hit me pretty hard. You know, you had to put in the work, put in the weight room, you know, film study, all that, practice. So it was a long road for sure, but it was definitely, you know, once I got my feet wet, playing special teams, and then it kind of just snowballed from there, you know, getting to play a little more offense, and then, you know, unfortunately had some injuries. I got a chance to play, and like I said, just kind of went from there. But it was definitely around my senior year. I felt like I belonged. I knew that I could play this game, and you know, it just kind of went from there.
It's amazing when you consider you're one of 9 right now one of 9 tight ends that were drafted under Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. So that's almost one every other year getting drafted. And of all those 9 that got drafted, they all made it. It's not like they got drafted and didn't make it. What is it? I mean, what is it about the tight end at Iowa? Why have there been so many under Kirk Ferentz? And what does his program do to prep you guys for the NFL?
Just attention to detail. Coach Ferentz obviously is an offensive line guy. Coach Morgan was there when I was there. So it was just Coach Doyle has a big part in it. There's attention to detail, just kind of the athletes that they get. It's kind of mold them into good players. It's a position that is getting a lot of focus right now. Catching passes or whatnot, everyone sees that. But I think if you look at the Iowa tight ends, their record, just from when I was there, before I was there, the tight ends are asked to do a lot in this offense.
Yeah.
Not just catching passes or whatnot, just, run blocking, pass protection, stuff like that. So it's just, I think that style of tight end translates better to the NFL than maybe a guy that just splits out wide, can run a seam route, catch the ball. Iowa tight ends are asked to do it all from day one, and if you can't, you don't play. So, guys get 3 or 4 years under their belt of the Iowa system, and they're NFL ready.
Your career overlapped a lot with Tony Moyaki's. I mean, I'm thinking at one point you guys may have had 2 or 3 future NFL tight ends on the roster at the same time. You and Tony did play a lot together, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. He was the big 5-star recruit coming in. And then, I had Scott Chandler.
That's right.
Tight end. Tony Jackson was in the room. So
Eric
there
Jensen.
Were 3 or 4 guys in there that all played in the NFL. So it kind of focused you. You had some competition in that room, and it kind of pushed everybody to be better. And I think that brings out the best in anyone. A little competition for playing time. And that's kind of what we did in that room.
I think it's the beauty of Iowa football, too, Brandon. You had yourself, lightly recruited out of Prairie City, Tony Moriarty, 4- and 5-star out of the Chicago area. But when you get to Iowa, you're all kind of on the same playing field, and it's just a matter of just proving yourself. Isn't that kind of how you looked at it?
No, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like anything in life. You get an opportunity, you get a chance that you've been waiting for, you've been working for. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how many stars you have. It's all about the work you put in and your ability, and the coach is putting you in the right situations, the right spots, and it's up to you to ultimately to make the decision, to make the plays when your number's called. Either you make the play or you don't. And so at Iowa, like you said, it doesn't matter where you come from. It's about results on the field, and that's a special thing at Iowa.
Is there any couple plays that stick out for you at Iowa? Obviously you went through a lot. You were there in 8, and you played in the bowl game. Is there any couple moments that stand out to you that will always be considered special?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Penn State game my senior year when they were ranked 3rd, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like the green out game or whatever for Sean Green? Just the last drive that we put together was special. It's on the Big Ten Network all the time, so I get to relive it, which is great. I still get 4 or 5 texts every time it's on. But, yeah, that was definitely a moment that I will never forget about my senior year there for sure.
Tell you what, that year with Sean Green, just how cohesive the running game was at that time. I mean, he got over 100 yards in every game. You guys were so huge in that. It just seemed like after you guys lost to Illinois, I don't think you lost again after that. You lost that game in Illinois, and then it just seems like that team was on a mission, and that was important. If you remember, Brandon, 07 and 06, you guys had okay seasons, not good by Iowa standards, but then that 08 was huge again. How important was it? 07, you guys didn't make a bowl game. 08, you come back. How important was that resurgence in 08 for you guys?
I definitely, first of all, I remember not making bowl game in 07. That was a low point for me, I guess, for the guys that were in the room. It started after that season. Coach Doyle, his guys had us in there in the old bubble. and he made a point, it's not going to happen again. Going into the 08 season, guys were focused, guys were hungry. We knew what we wanted and what it took to get there. And to go back on Sean Green a little bit, everyone kept asking me about that year, 100 yards, and about my role. And I go, if you watch a lot of the games, Sean made a lot of guys look pretty dang good. He was just one of the special back that, where all he had to do really at the blocker is just kind of get in the way and let him do his thing. So I owe a lot to him as well. He made me look pretty good on a few plays that maybe other guys wouldn't have.
Well, that's very humble on your part, and it's funny you bring up the bubble. I got to ask you, when's the last time you were back on campus? Have you seen all the new facilities?
I have. We took my wife is back. We came back to Iowa City one time a couple of years ago, I believe. The facilities are amazing. Now that I'm coaching down here in Arizona, a bunch of West Coast guys that think, Iowa doesn't have much. Show them the video of the facility, and they kind of take a step back and say, oh, okay, Iowa football is pretty special. But yeah, no, that facility they got is pretty crazy, pretty nice. It's funny when we were visiting. T.J. Hawkinson was taking a visit.
Okay.
That day when it wasn't planned, I promise. That's what Coach Morgan says. We were walking through the facility and we ran into him, and I think he actually might have committed that day. But it was pretty cool for an old time tight end like me to be going through, seeing the new facility, seeing what they got going on there, and then to see a young tight end from small town Iowa come in and being recruited. And Coach kept saying, he's going to be a good player. He's going to be a good player. We need him. We need to get him here. And to see his success now, it kind of brings it full circle to that time we were in Iowa City visiting the new facility.
Wow, that is neat. And yeah, he's from Sheridan, so yeah, you can kind of relate to his experience. He didn't have a ton of offers. Now, let's talk about TJ and Noah Fant. I know you still follow the team, their stats. I mean, right now I've seen USA Today. One made the first team All-American mid-season team. Another one made APs. I mean, I know multiple tight ends play at Iowa. This is nothing unusual, but even you've got to be surprised by the numbers these guys are putting up. How much have you watched these guys this year?
Oh, I've watched. I think I've watched every game. It's not surprising. Typically, like we talked about with the depth at tight end, where in the past, maybe one guy will get the attention, but to have two guys playing at a level like they're playing is pretty special. Obviously, everyone talks about Coach Brian Ferentz, being with the Patriots, and maybe he's brought some of those things over to Iowa. But I think it just comes back to just having quality depth at that position, and the ball's been going their way, and they've been taking advantage of their opportunities.
So when you say you're coaching football, do you see yourself, is this something you want to do? I mean, could you see yourself staying at the high school level? Do you look ahead? What kind of visions do you have as far as coaching?
I'm not really sure. It's kind of funny. I've always talked to coaches throughout my career, whether it be in the college level or the NFL. And, it's funny. A lot of coaches say, maybe stay away, because it's a lot of time commitment. I don't think people understand how much time and effort those coaches put into a game plan, and takes them away from their families or whatnot. But, I'm just getting my feet wet. I'm just volunteering here at the local high school, and it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's funny to kind of teach some of my lessons to high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I have to take a step back and remind myself, they're just high school kids. They got a lot going on. Some things I don't understand. I'm a little too old, but it's been fun. So I'm not really sure. I'm just, like I said, this is my first year, and I'm just enjoying the ride right now. We're on a pretty good streak. Last week we lost to Pinnacle. It's 6A. We're 6A in the state of Arizona, and we lost to the number 1 ranked quarterback in the nation. He's going to Oklahoma by 1 point. So,
I know who you're talking about. Wow, that must have been a game. That kid's good. I've seen him play. I think ESPN had one of their games on.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler.
Yes,
is his name. You know, our kids. We moved up from 5A to 6A this year, and you know, we've had some good games, but we weren't really sure going in if we belonged, and to play a guy like that on that caliber, a player, you know, kind of made our guys realize we belong. And you know, ever since then, we've had a good week of practice, and we've been locked in. So like I said, it's been fun. Young kids they're like sponges. So, you know, just kind of anything you tell them, they lock onto and run with. So that's been the most gratifying thing for sure.
Well, I wanted to ask you, Kirk Ferentz is the head coach. Are you? I mean, you've been gone from Iowa for almost close to a decade. Are you surprised he's still the head coach? I mean, it just seems like he still loves doing what he's doing. He's in great health, great shape. I mean, he's in year 20. Are you surprised he's gone this long, or is this not a surprise to you?
That's a good question. It's something I've never really thought about. I guess Coach Ferentz is so steady that, you know, wins and losses, you know, he's pretty even keel. So I've never really thought about how long he's going to be there. He's just kind of that steady guy that keeps plugging away, and he seems to be enjoying things. He's got a pretty good gig going on. You know, he lives in Iowa City. It's a great place to raise a family, which, you know, I think all his kids are grown now, but you know, I don't, you know, and he's got his son coaching offensive coordinator underneath him, so he's in a pretty good spot.
He is.
I don't really see him leaving anytime soon.
Is there any one or two things from playing under Kirk that you kind of take with you? That is there maybe one or two things that maybe impressed you the most about him as a head coach on a daily basis that you see yourself maybe using if you get into coaching? Just something. What is it in your eyes that makes him such a successful head coach?
You know, in the state of Iowa, when you think of Kirk Ferentz, you know, he's on another level. You know, he's on the top of the pedestal. You know, when you're getting recruited, you know, it's Kirk Ferentz. You kind of freeze up a little bit. One thing that I've always noticed, and my parents still tell this story, you know, he knew their names every time. They called him by the first name every time we walked in. It was more of on a personal level. And for a guy of that stature to know my parents' names, to have a conversation, just I thought that was something special. You know, you see some coaches where if you're in that situation, you're not really sure if they would do that. So that's something that's always stuck with me. You know, he's just a real guy, man. He calls you by your name. He has a conversation. He genuinely cares how you're doing. So that would definitely be one thing. And then the other thing that I really noticed about him was his attention to detail. You know, day in, day out, the way he coaches, the way he teaches was just detail. You know, I can still think back and remember, you know, the footwork, the pad level, the way he went about coaching that. I still think about today. So that was one thing that I'll never forget, was just the way he detailed things in practice and how you went about your business.
Wow. Well said, and I can relate to the name thing. I remember the first time I met him, and then I saw him by chance at a grocery store, which I haven't seen him since at a grocery store, but this was, and the next time after meeting me one time, he knew my name, and I was just stunned by that. But then I got to find out that that's just how he is, his attention to detail. And like you said, that matters. When somebody remembers your name, I'm sure that mattered to your parents. I'm sure that impressed them.
Oh, absolutely. My mom's name is Sprayna, and a lot of people get that mixed up. And the one guy who has never messed up my mom's name is Coach Ferentz. And, you know, she tells that story, and puts a smile on her face. So it's just the type of guy he is.
Well, Brandon, you're a great story. And listen, we appreciate you coming on. I didn't realize you were out in Arizona. What is it, 7:30 out there? I mean, we appreciate you getting up early. We got to ask you one last question. Tom Suter would normally do this, but I told you we are a radio station, so I'm going to ask you one music question. And it's kind of what we do with all former Iowa athletes you talk to. If it was up to you, you know they've been doing a lot of concerts here at Kinnick Stadium. I mean, not a lot, but they've done some. If it was up to you to pick a band to fill Kinnick Stadium, your choice of any band, what band would you pick? Doesn't a band, performer,
or artist?
Artist or anybody. We've asked Kirk this. We've asked Fran McCaffrey. We've asked Brett. We've asked a lot of different people. I'm just curious, who would you pick?
That's a good question.
And then it tells us a little bit about you too when you tell us what kind of music you're into.
I would probably say Garth Brooks.
Okay, Garth Brooks is probably winning, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's winning, but you are not alone. We've had. Now, Kirk said Bruce Springsteen, but we've had a lot of Garth Brooks. I mean, I'd say that's probably the fifth or sixth one we've had. And, yeah, these guys would agree that Garth Brooks would definitely fill up Kinnick Stadium. So, good answer. Great interview, Brandon. And, hey, congratulations on everything, your success. And we really appreciate you being on, and I know our listeners probably really enjoyed it.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, you bet, Brandon. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Brandon Myers, he's Iowa football.
I am looking at his stats. Played 8 years.
Four with the
Raiders, 1 with the Giants, 3 with the Bucks.
Okay. 8 years.
8 years.
Just under 200 receptions, just under 2,000 yards. In 2010, he made 1 fumble. He never fumbled again.
God, I wish I would have.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, no, that's impressive. Well, you don't stick in the league for 8 years if you're doing something wrong.
And I know you're a receiver and you run out of bounds a lot and stuff, but people do tackle you.
Yes,
and people do lose the ball.
He was a hell of an athlete.
So he played another 6 years without fumbling the ball, and his best year was 2012. He caught 79 catches for 800 yards.
Jesus, I didn't realize he had that many.
Yeah, he was their go-to guy, and then they traded him, or he went to the Giants and. Yeah, he's just had a really solid career.
And I know they're uncomfortable talking about their money and what have you, but you play that long, because I looked him up. I did some research, Google,
sure.
And this Myers signed a 2-year, 4 point. The reason he's able to do what he's doing right now, raise a family and coach high school football, and is because he played 8 years.
He's 33 years old. He's got his whole life ahead of him.
He does, but he's also got his nest egg. I mean, it's amazing how this can change your life if you come here, and you think about how many players that Coach Ferentz and his assistants have done this for. Is this money?
We got money, and we've got somebody waiting. If you wait through money,
money always comes first. Is that what you're saying?
Money comes first.
But you can always call back, too.
And I never fumble the money.
Well, no.
not since I spent the money. Hello.
Hey, good interview, guys, with Brandon. It was good to hear his voice. I haven't heard him for a while.
He's got his head on straight.
Yep, he's a good dude, and you were right about the basketball deal. I thought when he first came out, he was kind of one of those top prospects in the state. Started as a freshman, and he was Mr. Basketball to start off his career. But pretty cool to see how he made that switch. And 7 years is a long time to play in the NFL.
What's this now? I'm sorry, I didn't have my headphones on.
He was talking about basketball.
Oh yeah. Did you play against Brandon?
He was 2A, but I remember seeing him on the AAU circuit, and he was really good. When I was a little bit older, I kept hearing about Brandon Myers from PCM, and my cousin played against him a few times, and they were good. They were, I think they won a couple state championships, but he was a beast on the court.
He was.
And I thought he was going to play basketball, and I think that's where his passion was. And then all of a sudden, he got bigger, stronger, and he started to look at football. And when he made that switch and came here, he just kept getting better every year. And partly, I think, because he was an athlete like that, he could always transition and, learn the game pretty quick. And it was cool to see how he, 7 years is a long time. And
no, actually
he
played 8 years.
And represented.
I was wrong. He played 8 years. I cut him. Well, and I think maybe, Adam, you think he only grew to about 6'4". I wonder if he would have grown to 6'7", 6'8", if maybe that would have changed. Because I watched him play in high school, and boy, I'm showing my age because he had not heard of Hurl Beacham, and Hurl Beacham's younger than me.
I heard that in the interview, and I was like, he's got to know Hurl, some of those great Iowa players, or Iowa State.
Just shows you how old I am. But no, I was told by a guy early on. He goes, he's a more versatile Hurl Beachum is how it was described to me. And I'm like, because Brandon could shoot outside, Hurl Beachum was good. I mean, if people remember, he's one of the best high school players I've ever seen.
Do you want to know how old you are? I ran into somebody that says, who is this, I swear, who's this Pink Floyd that Pat keeps talking about? Who's he?
No way.
Yeah.
Is that Henry?
Huh?
Is that Henry?
No, it wasn't. No,
well,
it wasn't.
Adam's
It wasn't my grandson. No, I couldn't believe it myself. No, he must have been like 22.
All right, Adam, how old are you?
Honest to
what
God.
are you? You're in your early 30s, mid-30s?
Mid-30s, yep.
You've heard of Pink Floyd, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought everybody'd heard of it. I was shocked.
Okay.
I seriously was shocked.
Well,
hey, I'm a big classic rock fan, but I think if you're going to sell out Kinnick, if you throw Eric Church out there, I don't think you'll have an empty seat in the stadium.
Oh, he's huge right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. It is amazing, though. We've had a lot of Garth Brooks. That's at least the fifth or sixth.
No, Garth Brooks would be massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that shows.
That's probably he'd bring it, and they'd bring people from all ages and generations. He'd bring it all.
Now, one thing I did forget to ask Brandon, and I know a couple of people on Twitter, I guess Prairie City Monroe's having a really good year in football this year, and I forgot to ask Brandon about that. It just escaped my. I hope that's because some people ask me, hey, make sure you ask him. Hopefully his high school is not like 0-8. You know, Twitter, it could be mean. I didn't bother to look it up, but I'm assuming they must be. But, I should have asked that, but I just got so wrapped up in talking to him about other stuff. But so, yeah, no, that's interesting because, yeah, you probably do remember playing against him, and I do. I do remember watching him at Vets playing in the state tournament. I mean, he was a 30-point-a-night guy. I mean, and he basically would get the rebound and dribble down the court and decide if he was going to shoot or somebody else. I mean, he was kind of a guard and a center at the same time.
Yeah, he was. I was surprised. I thought maybe he would come back. Guys like Scott Chandler and you got Aaron Campman. There's a bunch of guys that have kind of relocated back that are from Iowa around the area, and maybe he will someday. But it sounds like he's pretty established out there in Phoenix and is happy out there with his family.
And it seems like some people you either love Phoenix or you don't like it.
I've got my old program director lives in Tucson, and it's 112 degrees.
And there's no trees or grass.
No.
But, hey, some people love it. And if you're happy, that's all you ask for. And well, listen, we need to get the money.
Yeah.
And, hey, Adam, we'll start having once basketball starts, we'll start doing once a week with you if that works out. We'll pick a day. Have we decided Monday, Wednesday, or Friday?
Whatever Adam wants.
Whatever works best for you, Adam. Just look at your schedule and let us know.
Sounds good. Well, I'm excited. It'll be here before you know it.
I know. Guys. It's coming. Thanks.
Here's Adam Haleska, Wells Fargo Advisors with the markets.
Thanks, guys. Hey, good morning, everyone. Stocks finished sharply lower. On Thursday. The Dow fell 327 points to close at 25,379. The S&P 500 slipped 40 points yesterday to close at 2,768. And the Nasdaq Composite was off 157 points to close at 7,485. Those major averages declined as investors digested a number of geopolitical concerns. Markets opened lower following another sell-off in Chinese markets overnight. That left the Shanghai Composite off 30% from its January high. Meanwhile, the standoff between the populist Italian government and the EU intensified Thursday, sending European shares tumbling. 9 of 11 sectors finished lower, with utilities and real estate shares advancing. Technology and consumer discretionary shares led the losses as Apple slid 2.3% yesterday, and Amazon fell 3.3%. Industrials also underperformed as United Rentals plunged 15%, and Textron declined 11.3% after both companies released disappointing third-quarter earnings. In positive news, Philip Morris did add 3.7% after topping profit expectations and raising their forward guidance. Looking at the market today here, Friday, October 19th, averages are poised to rebound this morning as investors assess a flurry of strong corporate earnings reports. The Dow is up 188 points, S&P is up 23, and NASDAQ is trading up 80 points this morning. On the data front, the loan update today is expected to show that existing home sales declined by nearly 1% in September. And in central bank news, Atlanta Fed President and Dallas Fed President are both scheduled to deliver speeches this afternoon. In earnings, PayPal is adding 7.2%, while American Express is advancing 2% this morning. Elsewhere, Procter & Gamble is climbing nearly 8% this morning.
while Honeywell is gaining 2.8% as both firms topped analyst projections on top and bottom lines. Treasuries are a little changed this morning on the yield. On the 10-year note, it's flat at 3.18%. In commodities, crude is adding nearly 1% to $69.26 a barrel, and gold is up 0.1%. That's trading at $12.31 an ounce. Once again, this has been Adam Haluska with Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. If you're in the Iowa City, Coralville area, we can be reached at 319-338-3799, or you can always come in and see us. Adam Haluska, Corey Urian, Ted Stoley, and Daryl Courtney. We're all at 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201 in Coralville, Iowa.
1630 KCJJ on TuneIn and YouTube. Powered by the Iowa City Marketplace.
With a look at your forecast, I'm meteorologist Ashley O'Connor. Mainly cloudy skies today with scattered showers. Highs this afternoon will reach the upper 50s and low 60s. Breezy southwest winds could gust near 25 miles per hour. We'll have clearing skies this evening with low temps tonight dropping to the upper 30s and low 40s. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow with breezy northwest winds, and it will be cooler with highs in the upper 40s. Mainly clear skies tomorrow night and cold with lows in the upper 20s. That's weather on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Currently, it's 49.
Weather brought to you by the Westport Touchless Auto Washes at Walmart in Iowa City and Coralville's High V. Coming up at 5 o'clock today, City takes on West. City erupts in rivalry. We're all freaking out. Junior varsity, then the varsity. Doubleheader.
Yeah. We'll be there for like 8 hours.
Yeah. Well, and it's senior day, and they'll be announcing the seniors and stuff.
I've heard the halftimes of both games is going to take like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
We'll be getting out of there about 1 a.m. would be my guess. I'm just kidding. I can't wait. City West, it's weird how it ends the year with City West.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often,
No, it
does
does not happen very often.
So you heard the forecast. Now, do you think the gusty winds are going to be a factor?
Well, I think it'll affect
Saturday?
Iowa. Maryland doesn't throw the ball very well. So 20. I think Iowa is a little more enclosed now with the north end zone. But, yeah, I mean, it's 25 miles is pretty strong. So we'll see. I still don't think it'll change what they do. I have Iowa winning this game. I think Maryland may have a couple big plays. I just think Iowa's a better team playing at home right now. I'm not disrespecting Maryland or dismissing them. I think if Iowa has early turnovers and lets Maryland get ahead, they could be in trouble. Maryland's more explosive than Indiana or Minnesota, but Maryland's got some issues. Like I said, they don't throw the ball very well. Their offense is a lot of gimmicks and what have you. And if Iowa's assignment sound, which they usually are, I think they'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be easy, but like I said, I got them winning maybe 33-17, 31-20, something. I haven't picked a score yet. So we shall see.
Well, won't be playing in front of any empty seats. It's sold out.
Sold out? And that's what, the third? Is that the third sellout this year?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, things are good right now. This is about as happy a time. I mean, I wrote a column yesterday about how Kirk seems to be giving these little subtle signs about how he thinks this team could be special, but then he also counters by saying, hey, we're only halfway through. I mean, you can't anoint this team yet, but I think you can feel pretty good about its chances. And when I say special, to me, special's got to be 11 or 12 wins. 10-2, Wisconsin winning the West Division and Iowa going 10-2. That to me, that's good, but that won't be special. To me, special is winning out 11-1, having Wisconsin lose another game, win the West Division, and go regardless of what happens in the Big Ten championship game. To me, that would qualify as special.
Oh, absolutely.
Get to the Big Ten championship. Now, if they can win it, great. I mean, there's so many possibilities, but you just can't get ahead of yourself. I mean, I brought up 2010. That team was as talented, if not more talented, than this current team. They were 5-1. Everything looked just hunky, and then boom, they ended up losing their last 3 regular season games. Season just kind of, and you just never know.
This makes them, if they win tomorrow, they're bowl eligible.
Yes, which is
which is
kind of ridiculous. I mean, to win 6 games. I mean, it's almost like news. It's almost like it's news if you're not bowl eligible.
It's kind of like when the hockey playoffs start.
Yeah, I mean, it is bigger news. It is bigger news now when Iowa's not bowl eligible. But yes, that's if they win tomorrow. That will be one of the side notes that they're now bowl eligible for. I think that would be the 17th out of the last 18 years under Kirk Ferentz. And that year that Brandon Myers was talking about not making a bowl, they were eligible that year. They went 6-6. They just didn't get invited to a bowl game, and that was Western Michigan lost during the season. Horrible. I mean, that was Brandon's junior year. So I mean, that 2008 turnaround was big for him, big for the program, and what have you, because they really needed that. Because that 07, that feeling leaving that stadium after that loss in Western Michigan in 07. That was not good.
It was dismal.
The natives were starting to get a little restless then because 06 had been a bad season.
It felt as bad as when when we flooded in 2008. Oh, that game was just...
Well, but as he always does, Kirk Ferentz ends up having an answer in time to stave off any talk of coaching change. In 08, they won 9 games. 09, they won 11 games. And so that was another little mini resurgence, and now we're kind of... Well, I mean, they've won 8 games the last 2 years, so it's not like either year has been a bad year, but I would think most fans would agree that neither year has been what fans had hoped after the Rose Bowl year. 8-5, you can do a lot worse than 8-5, but I think Iowa fans know you can do a lot better than 8-5 under Kirk Ferentz, and that's what I think fans believe this season is going to be. So now we just got to let it play out. 11 o'clock. We're just going to have one show here.
One show.
No Suderman. Suderman, he's gone. Well, we were talking.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks since he had been gone. I don't know.
He'll be gone he's
tomorrow
gone today.
Too.
And
Monday?
Gone tomorrow and Monday.
Good.
Monday he'll be back in town.
But he won't be in here, though. It'll be a good.
Here.
Yeah. We got.
Yeah. So you got to bring it.
We got used to him being here, and he had to remind us again that what's that line in Shawshank? You can't. A bird that's meant to fly, you got to let him go. You know when Andy escaped and he said, "That's Suter. Suter can't be cooped in here. There's a world out there." You know. Hey, I'm not making fun of his drinking.
We still got another half
I'm
hour at
trying
least.
I'm being positive. He's out there. He's at a wedding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the wedding's not till tomorrow, so today he's probably.
He could have been in here today, but he's sending a message that hey. This show needs him more than he needs the show. Is that what he's telling us? Maybe this is him.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talked about this already, but I saw a huge list of recruits coming in for this game. One of them, I think that's AJ's brother. Is that right? Linebacker from Edwardsville.
Is that Eric Epinesa?
I'm not sure.
I believe, there's about 46 of them coming in.
Wow.
46. Some of them are
2020, I think so.
Yeah, some of them are committed. Some of them, and not all these guys will get offers. I mean, this is a big weekend. I think Tyler was getting ready to post the list on our board, but yeah, there's at least 46 I saw in the last count that will be in, and I believe yes. I don't know if his brother is Division I at this stage, but you know what Iowa does is they get on these guys early. They start recruiting these guys really early, and I think a majority of these guys, of course, are from the 20 class, like you said.
Yeah, there's a few 2021, but most of them 20 and a few 19.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So their class is more than half full, but they still got to finish strong with the 19 class. So, yeah, these visitors, it's a big weekend. Recruiting, it never stops. It's year round. It's the one thing that never does stop. So they'll be able to see, hopefully they can see a victory. That's what you want. That makes everything a lot better. But, yeah, no, there is. And I haven't looked at the list enough to know. Have you seen it enough to know how many of them are just committed players making another visit? I haven't looked.
There were several of those. But
Okay.
There's too many on there. Most of them are not. But
Yeah.
There were several.
But, yeah, you always like to have those committed players, too, though, because to me that kind of gives a little vibe for the players who aren't committed. You got guys talking about the program and what have you. So, yeah, no, this is big weekend for the team, big weekend for recruiting, and lots of things.
Hey, quick question about basketball. I was reading about what's going on with Kansas basketball now. Now, it looks like they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But do you ever see McCaffrey? I can see Iowa State doing it, but can you see McCaffrey ever jumping on some of these schools like the NC State and now Kansas? That's going to reap the negatives of their recruiting, of jumping on some of those, reaching out to some of those recruits.
I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put it past Fran to do something like that. This is kind of uncharted territory, and you're right. The stuff with Kansas doesn't look good. You're innocent until proven guilty, but some of the stuff coming out on Kansas seems really strong. And what's different with the Kansas stuff, it directly involves Bill Self, if we're to believe the testimony. So, it does not look good. And but recruiting is a business, and if there's players out there, my only concern with Iowa, and I don't know what you think about this caller, and I don't fault Fran for shooting for the stars. I just worry that they spend so much time going after 5 stars that they maybe miss out on some guys that they had to have a more realistic chance of getting. Because I don't want to sound like a party pooper or Dr. Hindsight, but I never thought they had any chance to get Trace Jackson Davis, Keon Brooks, any of these guys. I just never thought. And I know they were in on him for a little bit, but I sometimes wish they'd go after more 3-star guys. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I say, Kirk's known for going for that 2-star and then building them up to making sure he's ready for the next level. I mean, Kirk hasn't done that yet, where he's gotten a 3-star and worked him into being an NBA caliber player yet. So
Aaron White. No, he's not NBA caliber. I know what you mean there, but Aaron White. Yeah, Aaron White is kind of an example of what Kirk does in football. Fran's done that, but no, you're right about that. And Kirk also will get some highly. I mean, everyone's talking about all the Iowa guys in the NFL and how they were all under-recruited. That's not true. Brian Bulaga, Adrian Claiborne, Riley Reif, some of those guys that made the NFL from Iowa were also very heavily recruited. Brian Bulaga.
But if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't shoot bigger, then
they
have a bad season, why doesn't he?
I just think, though, if you focus.
You can't win.
No, you can't, but I sometimes worry that when they lose out on a 5-star, they don't really have an answer with a 3-star. They end up. I mean, in the past, like when they lost out on Tyler Ulis, they fell all the way down to Trey Dickerson. And this time, DJ Carton, I don't know much about Joe Toussaint, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I just think it's tough. I mean, George Raveling's been the only coach that's ever been able to get 4 and 5 stars here consistently, and he was only here 3 years. It's tough, but I've just noticed a real upswing. Most of the players they're going after right now are 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but no, that I do think this is a big weekend for football, and this is going to be interesting because it seems like whenever Iowa has a little surge like this, they do end up getting in on some bigger recruits in football. You could see it in the past, like the 05 class that had all those stud recruits. That came after the 04, 03, 02 seasons. So it'll be interesting if they have a really good year this year and win 10 or 11 games, how that may impact the 2020 class. I think 19's a little late. 2020 will be the class that could be directly impacted by whatever this team accomplishes.
All right. Thank you much.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Recruiting, it's the mother's milk of big-time college football. You like that? I think I made that up.
Yeah.
Can we patent that or
copyright trademark it?
Trademark it.
You got to trademark it.
And then if anyone uses it, we sue them, right?
Yeah, sue them.
Sue them. So
all the print and all the discussion about recruiting just seems like a huge waste of time to me. I mean,
well, that's what recruiting is. People either love it or they just could not care less about it.
Right. I mean, what if they get here? Great.
That's how a lot of people. But there's a lot of people that care about it until they get here.
Yeah, that's
true. Then when they get
too.
Here, they don't care about it.
That's true too.
That's just how everyone's got their own thing.
Yeah.
I used to be into recruiting 15, 20 years ago. Now there's just too many people that do it. It's nothing.
Well, you were closer to that age where you knew some of
that was part of it too. You get into your
40s
and 50s. It's just, but now there's just too many people doing it. There's no drama. There's no mystery. We start knowing what a recruit's top 5 foods are by the time they're in 8th grade. I mean, it's just too much.
Hello.
So tomorrow there's no Sam Tudor show?
No. Nope. Well, he may be putting on a show at the wedding, but he won't be on the air. I think that person's a little distraught. Suter's got some pull and influence.
Maybe we'll have to do a Suterman podcast so people can, listen to previous episodes.
Maybe should we have him call in from the wedding?
No. Just leave him alone.
That caller's wondering.
No, because we got Mr. Heath coming in here at 9, and I am taking off.
Well, yeah.
You're gone, too.
Going to the
Jan's
game.
driving me to the game. And it's a big Lot 49, big celebration tomorrow at our tailgater.
It's going to be hard to part two. The ramp is always stuffed full on homecoming.
Bud and Carol are celebrating their 60th anniversary.
Wow.
Tomorrow.
At the tailgate?
Yes. Yeah.
How are you guys going to celebrate? What you doing?
I don't know. He doesn't know.
Suter's
the kid's got something.
And Suter's
planned.
not going to be there.
And Suter's not there.
Can it still be the same without Suter?
Yeah, he can be fine.
It'll be okay. All right. I'm not convinced.
As long as there's food and everybody's happy.
What food are you going to have tomorrow?
I don't know because the kids are surprising him. I had him on yesterday, and he said he didn't know because the kids are surprising him.
So is that Teddy in charge of the food?
I guess, yeah.
What are you guessing he'll make? Brats?
No, I would think for an anniversary, I don't know, lobster.
Steak sandwiches.
Jambalaya.
prime rib.
We had jambalaya already. Yeah, prime rib.
Steve Anderson's having something at his.
Yeah.
I'm actually supposed to go down there. I'm supposed to meet a couple buddies there.
Tailgate.
I'm going to try. I'm just really pressed for time.
It's
tailgate. It's 11 to 2.
Yeah, no, I'm going to try to go down there after the show because I have to go get some stuff for my dog.
Ken and I are going.
You guys, I'm thinking after I leave here. So it is from 11 to 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make it down there, but I still have to write a story, and then that football game starts at. We'll be leaving.
Eat lunch.
We got that double header. I'll be leaving my house at 4.
You got to eat lunch.
I know. Got a long double header though tonight.
Yeah.
Get that stadium about 4:15. Leave around 10:15. It's 6 hours at West High. Battle for the boot. Is it for the boot, not of the boot?
No, for the boot.
Battle for the boot.
Yeah, and see now if Brent would have still been here, he would have been set up by now.
Well, they're there too. We're gonna have both stations are gonna be there tonight. I hate it when we're both at the same game, but it's the battle for the boot, which is weird. Nobody covering the Dyke New Hartford Regina game, which is huge. I mean, if Regina's got to win that to get in the playoffs, that's got district title ramifications. It's a huge game.
Yeah,
big games tonight. Yeah, Regina versus Dyke New Hartford is definitely a huge game. So go Regals because they have to win to make the playoffs. Wouldn't that be weird to see Regina not in the playoffs?
Yeah, it'd be odd.
I mean, it would be strange. It just shows you, though, you can't take anything for granted. When all those times Regina won and made it look so easy, it's not easy. There's a lot that goes into it.
It's hard to be a powerhouse.
I mean, it is.
Year after year after year.
Yeah, no, it really is. And
just ask Steve.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's like the Patriots. He finds a way. I mean, you're the Belichick of Eastern Iowa radio.
He patches this thing together every year, and somehow we end up on top.
Whatever.
There you go. But so what are they having at Steve Anderson's today? It's the
in the past he's had burgers, brats, and
is he out there cooking it with like a big white chef's hat on?
Yes.
That's worth seeing by itself.
He's got a big chef's hat and an apron that says, "I'm a fan of Rachel Ray." Yeah.
He's wearing a Kiss the Cook apron. His wife's wearing one that says, "You better not."
That's funny.
I get the biggest damn kick out of him on Facebook.
He's on Twitter, too.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
His humor seems...
So what I appreciate is support.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a good guy.
He supports a lot of good media.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he gets some out of it, too, with the exposure. But no.
Well, I think he does, he's not...
But no, I'm just saying, though, he really does help. I mean, he's been big with our high school site, with all Hawkeyes, and I greatly appreciate it. That's why I'm going to try to do my best to make it out there today. Hopefully it doesn't rain. Do they have tents set up?
Yeah, usually they do.
Yeah.
Because it was raining when I came in here. It was raining kind of hard.
Really?
Yeah, it was raining pretty hard when I came in here, but then it stopped. No, it was raining.
I didn't pay attention.
But it's supposed to let up this afternoon, right?
It's supposed to be done by this afternoon, if we have any more at all.
So. Right. I heard you playing Head East.
Never been any reason.
Violates 70s. Is this because you own the station again?
Remember, it's 80s, 90s now, or whatever Steve wants to play.
We're kind of...
He'll play Head East.
In the morning, we got a different
Okay, that means
audience.
I expect to hear Pigs on the Wing.
You're not going to ever hear Pigs on the Wing.
Why?
Pigs on the Wing. Jesus Christ.
There's, part 2 is only a minute 20. We could play that.
That's what I'm saying. You could play
even if it was bad, it's only a minute and a half.
Pigs on the Wing.
It is. It's a minute 20, and I think the
it is.
listeners will all feel much better about themselves afterwards. This is somebody requesting sheep, I
Play
guess,
us
or
and,
dogs.
You play us and them for 8 minutes.
Yes. Why don't we play us and them?
Us.
I love that song.
I do too, but it just...
I've never seen a song that could basically have an annoying echo be more enjoyable.
Hello.
Hey guys, how you doing this morning?
Hey Dave, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Hey, nice interview with Brandon Myers, and I didn't know if he was still playing or not. But nice interview, and he sounds like a really good young guy, and
he does.
Happy for him doing well after his career. And hey, couple things, Pat. With Brady Ross out, and he's been such a big contributor all year, and a solid kid and player. I know Austin Kelly's going to be probably starting at fullback when they use him. Do you know who's the backup for Austin Kelly? Do they haven't listed the two deep?
They haven't listed. I don't have the two deeps in front of me. I should. I'm beginning to think, though, that they may use like Nate Whiting in some situations where they need a blocker in the backfield. And because he's done that, they've done that before with him, where they may use one of their tight ends. But no, I did not. I should have brought the depth chart in. But I think Austin Kelly, I think he'll do fine. I mean, obviously he's not Brady Ross, or he'd be starting. And Brady Ross, you can't overlook his influence to the offense. I mean, he's very big as a lead blocker. He's great at pass protection. And Brady's become sort of a weapon. But I thought it was key. It didn't really matter in the game last Saturday, but I thought it was important that Austin Kelly caught a touchdown pass. They got him involved early, and I think Nate Stanley showed, hey, you're the next man in. We need you. Nothing changes. You're the next guy in. Step up. You got to do it. And I think getting that touchdown is going to be big for Austin Kelly, and he's about 5'10", 240 pounds. He's your typical Iowa fullback, so I think you'll see him. And as far as a backup, I don't know. For some reason, I think you may see Nate Whiting sometimes in some blocking roles, maybe even lined up in the backfield.
No, I agree, and that's got to give Austin Kelly some confidence, like you just said, that he feels that he can get the job done there. Yeah. So that was a big thing. I had the spring roster because I went to the spring game. I looked up fullbacks, and I saw a kid from Geneseo, Lane Acree, and I saw they had a freshman out of Middleton, Wisconsin, named Joe Lidwig.
Yeah, Landon. Is it Landon Acree or is it Lane?
I think it's Lane.
Yeah, he's because I looked up the fullbacks too. They've always got 3 or 4 on the roster. It's just hard to know what they're doing with that third and fourth fullback. You just don't know. And I've seen Nate Whiting lined up in the backfield before and used as kind of a lead blocker. I mean, I think they maybe did that a few times with Peter Picard too. He was more of a blocking tight end. So it will be interesting. What's neat about Austin Kelly, there's some fullbacks that go through their whole career and don't catch a touchdown pass. He does it in his first series when he gets in there. It was kind of interesting. So maybe he can kind of give them a weapon that they haven't always had at fullback. So we'll see.
No, that's a good point. I was going to ask, both Ivory Kelly Martin and Nick Neiman are going to be available tomorrow, as far as you know. They got the okay to suit up for the game tomorrow.
Yep, Hankins is going to be back. The Hawkeye, Kirk said he's making good progress. The injury wasn't as bad as they had originally feared, but it didn't sound like Hawkeye was going to be back for this weekend. Possibly, but I would guess probably not. But no, Nick Neiman is supposed to be back. So they're gradually, slowly getting healthy again. I think eventually their starting cornerbacks are going to be Matt Hankins and Julius Brents, and I think Riley Moss and Michael Ojemudia are going to play a lot. I think they feel pretty good about their 4 cornerbacks, but I think when it's all said and done, Hankins and Brents are their best cornerbacks. And that's not taking anything away from Riley, because I think Riley Moss is really good too. Somebody at cornerback may have to move to safety down the road.
No, I agree, and I know Moss played some safety there at Ankeny Centennial, I think, if not mistaken, but he's I was glad when they got him, and I know you talked about his track ability, but the kid's just an athlete, and he seems like he's just getting better. And he's the Iowa kind of Iowa kid you want in your team because he's going to give it all he's got there. So,
and I think he could play safety. I do really think he could. Whereas Julius Brents is that long, lanky guy you want at cornerback, quick hips. He's got reach. He can disrupt passes and what have you. But I really like Julius Brents. I mean, there's a reason he was a 3- and 4-star recruit and with a lot of good offers, and we're seeing it.
Well, hey, just 2 quick other things, Pat. I know I said something to you guys on Monday, but us getting off to another great start like we had the last 2 weeks, I think it's going to be a key against these Maryland tomorrow. And just, the offense playing well and the defense playing well on special teams, because I know Maryland's got a couple of weapons on returns are going to be key, and we talked about the win. So hopefully we can keep that formula going. And last thing I was going to ask, I think I mentioned to you one time, but Tom Kakert, one of the recruiting analysts, I know you were talking about all the kids that are coming in tomorrow. Would you probably have somebody like him on later here in the season, you think, or not?
Yeah, we could have, but we could also have. We got a guy, Tyler Devine, who does recruiting for us. We'd probably just have Tyler on. He doesn't follow it quite as closely as Tom, but Tyler stays up on it. But yeah, we do actually Tyler's getting his list together, but we do a lot of recruiting with Tyler, and we always have him on at least once or twice a year to talk about recruiting, especially right around signing day too.
All right, bud. Well, that sounds good. Well, go Hawks.
Hey, Dave.
Dave. Yeah.
When was the last time you listened to Pigs on the Wing?
I'm not sure when I heard that one, to be truthful. Captain, I wish I could tell you there, sir, but you guys are always fun to listen to, and God bless you and keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Go Hawks.
Do you have animals here?
No.
Jesus, you don't even have it.
Well, we got some pheasants out there. We got
pheasants on the wing. So, what do you think Roger and David Gilmour were thinking when
I
they
would
put together
play
animals?
Pink Floyd if we can play the concert version that he just
starts railing on Trump.
Yeah, in the middle of a
Padaski was at one of those shows.
In the middle of a song.
Well, Padaski was at one,
and I don't remember what song, but all of a sudden, he starts railing in the middle, and people are
Richard
pissed.
said people walked out of his concert.
Yeah,
and wow, he just didn't care.
Yeah, they're pissed.
He didn't care though.
Well, finish your damn song. Honest to God.
Do you think Trump listens to animals? Pigs on the Wing?
Trump doesn't listen to a note of music. I guarantee.
You don't think he listens to any music?
No.
He doesn't drink or smoke or anything either.
No, it's all about the money.
Yeah, no music.
He probably gets.
He don't even listen to Pink Floyd's money.
He probably gets high on that stuff that he uses to have his hair.
He likes that. He likes that song by the OJs because that was the theme song to his show.
Which one was that?
For the Love of Money. Money, 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 money.
Oh, okay. That was the OJs who did that?
Yeah.
Okay, did not realize that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a great song.
Sheep. What about sheep?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So what do you think they were thinking when they put that album together?
I think they were effed up.
I don't think they were. I don't think Pink Floyd was near as you talk about syringes.
No, I don't think syringes
I don't think
or
Pink
anything.
Floyd was near the druggy band that you're suggesting.
No, I think they did.
Typecast, stereotyping.
I don't think that they did. I don't think they did a lot of drugs.
No, you got some of those.
But I think they drank a lot.
Oh, maybe they did
In
that.
fact, I've heard that they drank.
Boy bands drank a lot, didn't they?
Oh yeah, puking
who were they? The cul-de-sac boys or whatever. The
Backstreet. Yeah, the cul-de-sac boys.
There you go.
You like that one?
Yeah, I do.
I would listen to them.
The back alley boys.
The back alley boys. In sync. They're like 88 degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never listened to any of that stuff.
Well,
I took my daughters to see the Backstreet Boys at Carver.
Yeah, that's special. How old was she?
They were, I think, 9 or 10, and it was great. Every bathroom at Carver Hawkeye was changed into a women's bathroom except for one. And if you were a guy and you went to the bathroom, you just walked in and walked out. It was 98% women in that arena. It was great.
Wow.
Oh, they sold out in the Quad Cities.
Was this 20 years ago?
Yeah.
They who was it? Was it Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? They just were on some TV show.
Oh, they're still together?
Yeah, they got back together.
Yeah,
One of them got back together.
Like
Is it the Backstreet Boys?
Yeah.
They got back together. They're losing their hair.
I was going to say they're in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah. Well, and 98 Degrees did a reunion show. I mean, there's all these guys are going back out and doing stuff.
I came across I used to do oldies shows, and thank God I stopped because I came across an oldies show where it's the kids of all the acts.
Oh yeah, well, they're
stuff.
Cream. Cream's either nephews or grandkids are playing at the Paramount here.
Yeah, Cream's up in Cedar Rapids, but
it's Jack Bruce's son and Ginger Baker's son and a nephew of Eric Clapton or something like that.
I mean, it's
honest
not
to God.
Cream. It's like
carrying on the family legacy. I can't remember what it's called.
Jimmy Clanton is still alive. One of the Ronettes is still singing. She sings the Ronettes in the show. And then, but the rest of them are all either their sons.
It's really hard to call it Cream, though, when it's not Cream.
It's not
Cream.
It's called the Music of Cream or something like that. I can't remember how they build it.
Like their nephews.
Eric Clapton's not going to be within 1,000 miles of that.
No.
And I've always found that funny because at least with Steppenwolf and someone, don't they at least have maybe one or two original names?
There was a time, and Jim will remember this, when we we were on a Friday morning, and Kansas was going to be at the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds.
In the wind.
Yeah. And we had Kansas on, and at the same time, our competition had Kansas on because they were appearing in Clinton.
Wow, it was dueling. You guys were dueling.
And I don't think, did our Kansas have any?
I think our Kansas had more.
Had more? Well,
Yeah.
but.
And there was a foghead that there was a double foghead show
Yes,
too.
it was a double
Years
Slow
before
ride.
that.
I never liked foghead.
Take it easy.
I never got into
Cool
foghead.
for the city.
Never got into. How about Firefall?
Yeah, God.
Why would you put Firefall?
I always got Foghat and Firefall mixed up.
How can you get Foghat?
Even though their music was nothing like.
God, no.
Just their names were. I don't know.
You are the woman. Yeah,
Firefall.
That's that pablum from the 70s.
See, when you noticed you were playing the same music as your competitor, that's right then you should have switched to Pigs on the Wing. And then all their
We play Pigs on the Wing on KFMH.
Well, I haven't heard it here. I think Molly should be allowed.
This is not KFMH.
I think Molly should be
We're
allowed
still
to play.
playing it on KFMH.
Molly might start crying, though, if she heard Pigs on the Wing. How do you think Molly would handle Pigs on the Wing?
I don't know how our audience is.
It's a minute 20, like Hunter said. It's barely a minute. I think it would be enlightening for your audience.
Only if Roger Waters will start ranting right after. Honest to God, he interrupted, and I don't remember which song. I read it in like Consequences of Rock or some damn thing.
It was on every stop on the tour.
But like I'm telling you.
But he usually would end the song first.
Yeah.
This time, he just went right in the.
You got to ask Padaski about it. He's seen it. He witnessed it. He was at a concert where it happened.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the president, but I'd be pissed. If
I went and paid good money to go hear Pink Floyd songs, I don't want to hear him rant about Donald Trump.
No,
exactly.
No, why would you?
I don't want to hear that. There's a time and a place.
You want to tell your politics on when you do an interview or something like that. That's fine.
What do you think he does if someone yells, "Shut up and play Pigs on the Wing, you idiot"? How do you think he'd handle that?
Probably come off the stage.
I think he would. He's a little feisty little guy.
No, he'll fight you.
You should get him on. I think you guys would. I think it'd be. He and Roger Waters.
You get all the.
No, you've got the music. I get the athletes. You get the musicians.
But you know that you.
No, I don't
okay,
have any
I will go to him and I will say, look,
you reach out to
Roger
Waters.
I've got this guy. He's the biggest fan of yours. He's only got 2.5 weeks to live. He would love to interview.
You're gonna have me dying to get him on?
Well, yeah, he's
whatever it takes.
Just want me to cough throughout the.
Yeah, if you could.
What do you think of Trump?
Do we have a caller? Do we have a caller waiting for this? We've got someone waiting for this.
Wow.
It's just me, lonely
all
Grandpa
right.
Dirk, and I'm really getting tired of the blasphemous talk about Pink Floyd.
Well, it's not coming from me.
I
coming
know.
from Captain, anti-fun.
If any of you had ever seen them in concert, you would feel much different.
It's not. Listen. I like Pink Floyd. It doesn't belong here, but I like Pink Floyd. It's not that. How would you feel if you shell out a bunch of money? And I mean,
I'm with you on this one.
You shell out a bunch of money, and all of a
Roger
sudden,
Waters ain't cheap.
All of it. No, it's in the hundreds.
He's a lot of money.
And all of a sudden, in the middle of this isn't Padaski. I think saw him at the end of it. This is in the middle of a song. He just stops and starts ripping the hell out of Trump. And you want to hear the song. You didn't go there to hear that.
I agree with you on that one. No, I do. Don't you, Dirk?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, we've become so polarized as a nation that nothing surprises me.
Well, and in fairness,
anymore.
politics have fueled Roger Waters' writing. I mean, the wall, the final cut. That's all.
He's all been
It's all been stuff
raging against the establishment
Yes.
and everything,
and anti-war.
Well, and I'll say this: we need the Neil Youngs and the Stephen Stills and the Jackson Browns who are not afraid to take a stance politically in their writing.
And the girl that you guys love so much came out. What's her name again? Taylor
Katy Perry,
Taylor
Swift.
Yeah, didn't she?
Taylor Swift came out.
Didn't she come out and say something political?
No, we need that stuff. But if you're going to shell out $200,
no, I agree.
Then you don't want to.
Everybody went ballistic when she came out with that, and they said, "Oh, and all the Republicans are going to run away from her." If you read the entire statement, she says, "I'm not voting for this guy because he's against women's rights, but I want you guys to register and vote for who you think aligns with your beliefs."
And
she didn't say vote Democratic. She just said, "Here's who I'm voting for. register to vote, make your voice heard.
And she moved the needle.
Yeah, and see me, I'm the exception. I couldn't care less what Taylor Smith
Well, and
thinks.
I don't
care who she. I mean, I don't care. I don't care who.
But
any
there's
of these
a lot of
people that do
20-something and 30-something.
I couldn't care less what a celebrity thinks. I mean,
we did when we were.
I never did.
That age.
I never did. Never could care less what a celebrity thought about politics. It had no influence on anything I ever did.
No, because you're listening to Pigs on a Wing.
You're damn right.
Who would think that Roger Waters... Pigs on a Wing.
You mentioned earlier about somebody yelling out, "Shut up and play Pigs on the Wing."
Yeah.
There was a Today in History this week. There's a kind of a millennial great artist by the name of Ryan Adams. Everybody really likes him.
Love
right?
Ryan Adams.
Yeah. Well, apparently
That's
on
not
this
Summer of '69.
That's Brian Adams.
That's part of the story. On this date, he was doing a show, and somebody yelled, "Play Summer of '69." He stopped the show, went into the crowd, gave the guy his $30 for his ticket, and wouldn't start the show again until he was escorted out.
Wow.
So he's a little sensitive about that.
Yeah.
Well, if Pink Floyd played Kinnick Stadium, they would sell out.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with any of that.
Well, especially if Waters and David Gilmour were together. I mean, yeah.
Right.
I mean, now granted, Richard Wright's dead. They're
Right.
keyboarders, but they could, no disrespect to him, but they could.
But they won't ever get back to
You know who's not dead?
David Gilmour is a really nice guy, and he had a couple of great albums.
Yep.
And he
He's a
came
great-
to KFMH in the...
He's a great
Did he
guitarist.
release the album in the 80s?
Yeah, the About Face.
Yeah.
He's a
And
great guitarist.
He came into the studio. I mean, he drove. He was in Davenport, and he drove, 30 miles and sat there for like 2.5, 3 hours. And I remember one of the guys, John Obvious, who was on the air middays, he had this inflatable dolly called Trixie. And
Jesus.
so Gilmour comes in, and he wants some coffee, and Obvious put it underneath the coffee machine in a cupboard, and Gilmour, opens it out. He's looking for sugar or something. He opens that up, and the thing's, it's blown up and everything. And he did the rest of the interview with his arm around the damn.
Jesus.
He's a real nice guy.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard. Did he have anything to say about Roger Waters?
Well, they've apparently made nice with each other. I don't
Right.
think
He
they're
never
going to.
And I don't think it got ever really
He
bad.
never ripped him, and he said that the music, he didn't. The direction of the music was fine for the time, but he wanted to do different stuff, and he couldn't do different stuff while he was with Pink Floyd.
Well, I think Dirk would agree with this. You're not going to see a band that changed its sound more than Pink Floyd did after Syd Barrett left.
Oh, yeah.
They went from being, see Emily play and all that stuff. If you listen to that, and then if you listen to The Wall, or if you listen to Dark, you wouldn't think it was the same band.
No, you're right.
It's incredible. It really
And
is
it was
incredible.
really a testament
And
to
both
his creativity.
both high quality.
Yes, and I will say this: you're more apt to hear a band like Led Zeppelin you'll never hear another Pink Floyd. Anything like
and the one song that we do play,
Money.
Well, we play Money rare.
Learning to Fly.
Learning to Fly. I love that song.
I
I know you don't like it and everything, but I love that song.
That's when I said they needed to stop. It's getting a little silly. I didn't like it. Like Touch of
What
Grey.
about the Pink Floyd? When they were on Bandstand?
Well, apples and oranges. God. All right, what do you got, Dirk?
Patrick Simmons, Doobie Brothers founder and only remaining original member.
Wasn't he a dick, or who's the dick?
No,
I met him once.
He's a super nice guy. Tom Johnson.
Tom Johnson
was
was
just a jerk.
Okay.
Jerk and
Patrick
a half.
Simmons turned 70 years old today.
Wow, happy birthday.
He
to
autographed my copy of The Best of the Doobies after a show one time, and he looked at it and looked at me. He goes, "Boy, this is an antique." I says, "What does that make us?"
Getting old sucks, doesn't it?
I met him once years ago backstage at the old Five Seasons Center and reminded him that I'd seen he and the Doobie Brothers open for Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show around 1972.
Wow. If there was ever, Shel Silverstein, if there was ever anybody that should have never been allowed to record it.
Well, your favorite, but you told me, isn't Sylvia's Mother your favorite
It is.
song?
He plays it every morning to start his day.
You love Sylvia's Mother, don't you?
Do you know something?
When you're in love
The only
with a
good
beautiful...
song he had, and it's only because I got to use a line, was when you're in love with a beautiful woman, you get hard. And Just and you can imagine the line I used, and that's the only good song he had. And people would call up for that cover of the Rolling Stone crap. Just a crap fest.
That was a great song.
That's a suck fest. Terrible.
I got a freaky old lady named Cocaine Katie who embroiders on my jeans.
Hey, Richard, he finished the song Roger Waters before he started preaching, didn't he?
He's putting his lunch away.
Yeah. His much healthier lunch than
How
ours.
about Jeannie C. Riley?
How about her?
73 years old today.
When Roger Waters started ripping Trump, didn't he finish the song?
He didn't rip Trump at the show I saw.
What did he do?
He only spoke for maybe 3 minutes.
Seriously?
Just before intermission, he basically said, hey, we're going to intermission. This is what's going to happen. Kansas City is my favorite place in the world, blah, 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 blah. That's all he said. It was just his show.
Oh, I thought he ripped...
Johnny Mars. I just saw
So the
Johnny
truth
Marr,
comes
right?
out.
He's way more political as far
Who
as
is?
speaking. Johnny Marr.
Yeah.
Guitarist from Modest Mouse and the Smiths, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, then I must have...
I'm not with you kids.
Yes.
Captain
Kids
Steve,
from the
do you
80s.
remember...
I played Modest Mouse.
How about World Party, the band?
Great. In
I like
fact, they
them.
got back together.
They are getting back together.
Never heard of him.
Carl Wallinger
World
is
Party?
the lead singer,
Ship of
songwriter,
Fools?
multi-instrumentalist. He turned 61 today.
Well, you would like.
Yeah, I
World
think you
Party.
would.
You'd be surprised.
Way Down Now. That's a great
Yeah.
song.
Great, everything that he has... And this guy suffered a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
Took him out of... I mean, a long time ago when he was in his 40s, early 40s.
Wow.
And took him 5 years to recover. But he's back writing, recording, touring, and putting out
Well,
great
they're
music.
they're gonna rework Ship of Fools and re-release it.
Put the message in the box.
That's the one. No, I hate when they rework the songs.
Oh, he's tired. He had a
How
brain
about Big
aneurysm.
Head Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weren't
Great
they out of
stuff.
Denver? I think they were out of Denver.
They are. He and his bandmates went to Columbine High School and formed there, and then went to college together in Boulder.
I just heard he got really full of himself.
Well, they're still together.
Hey, Pat with
Get
a...
it?
Yeah.
He's 53 years old.
Yeah, they're like my age. Yeah.
His last couple releases have been very heavily blues-based.
But
Do
they
you
had
know
a
that
stretch there
formed
20
their
years
own
ago where they
record
had...
label
Yeah,
while
they
still
had
in college.
What?
Yeah, they formed
pretty
their
ambitious.
own record label,
Wow.
Big Head Todd.
Well, no, they've been around for a while. They didn't quite make it.
They just put out a new record, not last year, but maybe the year before.
Who's bigger, Big Head Todd or Counting Crows?
I think Big Head
They-
Todd because
Counting Crows is bigger. It's had
They made more money, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Head Todd has a very loyal, almost cult-like following for their live shows.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
They draw big.
Counting Crows grabbed $130,000 for an appearance in Cedar Rapids.
That's incredible.
And they lost money there.
Gee, imagine that.
130, and they hadn't had a hit in 12 or 13 years.
Round here. Wasn't it? Round here.
They had Round Here, Mr. Jones,
Rain King.
Long December.
Long December's a horrible
Rain
song.
King.
God.
Long December.
all I can think of is whining when I hear them sing.
Jim,
I mean,
did you see Counting Crows when they played Palmer?
I did not.
I was at that show. That had to be, I'm going to say 94 or 90 or 89 maybe. The fans were packed in there so tight that they buckled the stage and had
Counting
to
Crows
stop
have been
the
around
show.
that. They've been around
Oh,
30
yeah,
years.
forever.
Yeah, that was their last appearance here, wasn't it? Their 20th anniversary or something
Yeah.
like that, or 25th?
Well, not when I saw them. They were just
No, but I mean, they just played Cedar Rapids here this summer or last summer.
right. That's what they were talking about earlier. I said.
You know, and you would think, being named the Counting Crows, they would have some, champion some cause.
Never gave that any thought.
Cause.
I can't believe they'd have a show in Cedar Rapids that would lose money.
Shocking.
Hey, speaking of which, this is shocking. David Crosby's
Grows
playing.
nothing compared to
David Crosby's playing the Paramount, I believe.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yeah.
There's an email blast for buy one get one free tickets.
Shooter's going to be at that show.
Yeah.
It'd be a great show.
It's
He's
in the
a
upper
tremendous
balcony, but
singer.
still, that's
No, you would think it would just be sold out.
Yeah.
It ain't.
Listen, Suderman, how will you be celebrating?
Suderman is not here.
Oh, dang it! He's already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a wedding tomorrow.
Do I sound that much like Suderman?
He must be off celebrating the 74th anniversary of the birth of Peter Tosh.
I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Peter Tosh.
That's what he's doing.
What a
'Cause I know Suderman
miserable
loves the
death
reggae.
he met.
Yeah.
He was killed. They murdered him in his house.
Murdered in his home.
His
during
own home.
Didn't they shoot Bob Marley in his...
Well, Bob Marley died of cancer. Well,
he got shot in the foot.
He got shot. A bunch of people got killed with Peter Tosh.
A lot of Jamaican heat down there during some of that time.
Peter Tosh was killed by a guy that he befriended and helped after he got out of prison.
Very sad. Very sad. I remember that.
Yeah.
I like Peter Tosh. I thought he had some good stuff.
If you want to see a really classic Peter Tosh performance, look for the Saturday Night Live appearance when Mick Jagger walked out on stage.
I saw that.
Yeah. Walk and Don't Look Back.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
I still remember watching the show that night, and when Jagger came on, just being stunned. And it was a great.
How long ago was that?
78, 79.
He
So
died
Jagger
in
was
87.
So Jagger was like 60 then. Is that what you're?
Yeah. Well,
not his wife.
That album,
his wife was.
Yeah, of course not. That album was on Rolling Stones records. So
He found his wife on a jungle gym, didn't he?
And
during recess.
Mick and Keith played on that song. That's probably why he was there.
Jeez.
We kid because we care. Is that it, Captain?
Nah, we're going into blasphemy again here.
Jesus.
Well, I mean,
come on,
the record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Jim, are you going to stand up? Come on, now. Stand up for the Stones here.
Well, listen, I love the Stones. Okay,
I do too.
Yeah,
and so
but when the
so
wives have to go to bed at 7:30, then
Charlie Watts and his wife just celebrated their 54th wedding anniversary.
Yeah,
so
but Bill Wyman's wife is taking a nap right now.
In between feedings.
Oh, God.
Now we're just entertaining ourselves. We've basically just.
Keith Richards has been married to Patty Hansen for 30, almost 40 years now.
And what is she? She's 45?
Oh,
No,
no.
No, it's a joke. I mean, I'm continuing the.
She's probably
Get it? You married her when she was 5.
She's like in her 50s.
Okay.
I think. She's still
Switching gears back to Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
I noticed that Hawkeye basketball, both men's and women's, starts up here right after the 1st of November.
Yeah,
first women's game is Election Day.
Yep. And Women's Media Day is Halloween. You got Wrestling Media Day coming up early in November. The first men's game is like November. It's an exhibition against like Guilford or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
November 2nd.
November, it's all. November is a busy month and the days last. There's no sunshine.
If I'm not mistaken, don't the Iowa men's players go up against Wisconsin in late November?
I'm not sure if it's late
Yeah,
November. Do you have the schedule?
There is a.
They have 2 or 3 Big Ten games really early. I can't remember if it was in November or early December.
Here, I'm going to look it up while I
Jim's calling up the schedule right now.
Tommy, can you help these people? Thank you.
He's calling up the schedule right now. But with the 20-game schedule, it's different. You're going to play some conference games early.
They play Wisconsin November 30th in Iowa City.
Friday
night.
Yeah, November 30th. I didn't think it was early November.
And then Michigan State the following Monday.
Yeah, and then they're back, and then they'll have Iowa State.
And then Iowa State December 6th.
That's a brutal 3-game stretch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got to try to at least win one or two. I mean, they just got to avoid being swept in those. I mean, you get swept in those, that's going to be tough.
I've just got a really good feeling about the men's team this year. The
Based on what?
Has to improve. Well,
based on being a Hawkeye fan.
Joe Wieskamp.
Joe Wieskamp. I'm with you, Dirk, but Joe Wieskamp's not going to take a 4-win Big Ten team and lead them to the prominence. He's not Magic Johnson.
He's going to be a difference maker, and I think Connor McCaffrey's going to be a difference maker.
But I think you're mostly basing this on your Hawkeye loyalty. You have nothing to base it on other than just you're a Hawkeye fan. I mean, I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right. But just to say that's going to happen is just kind of foolish.
Well, I think everybody's got the idea that they were so bad last year they can't do that
well,
again.
no, I agree with that, but Dirk's making it sound like he thinks they're going to all of a sudden be in the NCAA tournament this year.
No, but I think they're going to be much better than a 4-win Big Ten team.
I think, I do too. I think they're going to win 8 or 9 or 10 conference games. The problem with that is you win 9 conference games, you're not even 500. That means you lose 11.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go 15-5 and get back in. But
That'd
I just
be
need
so
to.
cool.
I just need to see it, and I just don't want to put too much pressure on Joe Wieskamp and have people thinking that he's going to be the difference. I think he's going to be a huge addition. Don't get me wrong, but they need a lot more than just Joe Wieskamp to get this thing turned around.
Yeah.
They got to start playing defense.
Well, Fran said it in was it Media Day? We have we used to get by on scoring a lot of points. Now we realize that's not the strategy. So obviously they're making adjustments with their defense. That's going to make a big difference.
You hope.
But is it going to make enough of a difference? That's the question.
No, you hope it does. So we'll see. I mean, I'm with the men's team. I got to see something first before I'm going to make any big proclamation. I just need to see.
Hey, how
them
come you
do
guys
something.
aren't covering the Regina Dike New Hartford game tonight?
Because it's the battle of the boot.
That's going to be a real.
But it's
snoozer.
it's the battle for the boot. We cover it every year, and we cover the JV game too. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That might be interesting.
Well, I mean, we've done that every year. Whenever the battle for the boot's on, and it just happened to fall on the end of the year.
No,
this
you
year.
should be asking the other guys why they're not covering it.
They are covering it.
Well, they are covering the
they
boot.
are
They're not covering.
Oh yeah, nobody's covering.
Yeah.
They
should be covering.
I mean, Your Prep Sports is covering it. We'll have Susan Harmon there covering it for Your Prep Sports tonight. So we'll have that. And I can't imagine. I would imagine the Gazette would be there for the Regina Dike New. I mean, Regina's got to win to make the playoffs. Yeah, it's a big
all
game.
there is to it.
And Dike New Hartford's got a great front seven, so it's going to be a good game. But Regina's getting healthy. I didn't realize Ashton Cook threw for 345 yards last week.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of yards. I don't care if you're playing against air. That's a lot of yards. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, there's two really good young quarterbacks coming up here, sophomores, in Ashton Cook and Marcus Morgan. They're both really good. They're both Division I quarterbacks down the road, and it's going to be fun watching them develop.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's senior night for my son. A lot of emotions will be in play. And
I want to hear reports of you just completely losing it.
Yeah.
Down on your knees crying.
We get a chance. The senior dads all are given a chance this afternoon at the pregame meal to speak to the seniors.
I want yours to be the longest filibuster to ever hit.
I plan to
delay
keep
the
them
game
there
by an
just
hour.
Until,
I want
game time.
when you
So
get on,
kickoff.
Dirk,
And then I
3:15.
want you to start bitching about Trump.
Yes.
Roger Waters.
And then start reading off significant dates of birthdays. And see what the people do.
I'll forego all that if Steve would play a little Harper Valley PTA.
Well, that will.
I don't even want to hear that.
No? How about some Down Presser Man by Peter Tosh?
No.
No?
No.
Well, then,
No.
I guess you could play some Doobie Brothers.
How about Mr. Brown by Bob Marley?
Here's what I could do. I could go to the next segment and then go to lunch with my wife and go to the Hawkeye title and settlement thing. No, honest to God, you guys with your music and everything, that's all well and good. I base what we play on the fact that we have had the same format for going on 25 years. Well, all of the others, can you name one station around here that's had the same format for 25 years?
I don't think I can name another station.
Well, K-Hawk goes back to 67 when I worked there.
I don't think I could name another station.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Hey, Dirk.
Yo.
You were talking about Peter Tosh earlier.
Yes,
you
sir.
might be interested in this. There's a Netflix series called Remastered that's going to be coming out soon that details each episode is a different mystery from the history of music, like an assassination attempt on Bob Marley, the death of murder of Peter Sam
Tosh.
Cooke, stuff like that, some rock and roll stuff.
Oh, cool.
They have Johnny Ace.
It looks very cool.
They have Johnny Ace.
Cool. That Sam Cooke story is real interesting.
Yeah, it's called Remasters. It's coming on Netflix pretty soon.
The hotel manager shot him.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
right.
That's the
I
idea.
think Sam Cooke.
Unsolved mysteries
I think the
of
Sam
rock or
Cooke
something.
thing's more solved. I think some people like that to be more unsolved than it is. But
I think they're going to Cobain.
how about Johnny Ace? Do they have Johnny Ace shooting himself?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the whole last episode.
It all starts with Johnny Ace. Wouldn't we agree, Captain?
Oh, yeah. The whole road thing.
It all
I
starts.
think it all starts with Robert Johnson. King
Well,
of the
yeah,
Blues.
true. You got poisoned. Was Robert Johnson on there, Tommy?
There's one about the mystery of when the gym class will get a call.
Yeah. The
There
first
we go.
one. The first one came out is already out. It came out on October 12th. It's the first one's about Bob Marley.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'd watch all those. I mean, I love.
You
rock.
watch Netflix? Do you
No,
have Netflix?
I don't have Netflix.
Well, get Netflix.
But I like rock and roll documentaries.
Get Netflix.
I mean, that one on Big Star was good. They did
That
one.
was really good.
They did the one on Elvis. It was on.
That was really good.
It was really good too, and it was on all the time. The one on Elvis,
Yeah.
but the one on Big Star was good. I mean, documentaries, if they're good on music, are really good.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they really
I'd love
are.
to see one on the Allman Brothers Band.
I would too. I would love to see one on the Allman Brothers. I'd love to see one on Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I mean,
There is a new book coming out, and I think an accompanying documentary
on Led
for their
Zeppelin
50th anniversary. Yeah.
God, that's right, because that's coming up this
They
year.
They formed in '68.
Yeah,
right?
this year is their 50th
Yeah,
anniversary.
they've got like rare footage and personal photographs and stuff. So
They
the
completed their first album in 10 days.
Well, think about it, Dirk. In 1968, they put out Led Zeppelin 1 and Led Zeppelin 2.
Do you know that they played the IMU Ballroom after their first album, and Patrick Hazel and the Mother Blues Band opened for them?
Wow.
Being that I was like 4, I was not there. Were you there?
No, I wasn't. No, I was much too young for that. But I had
Suda
the
could have
album.
been there.
I had that first album, got it right from Columbia Records.
Okay.
Atlantic.
That was
12
good.
records for a penny.
Think about
Oh,
it, though.
the record,
I mean, from 68 to 71, they put out Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a lot of work. That's a lot.
Did they put them out in order?
Put them out in order. So. All right. Well, once again, I want to thank you to Brandon
Thanks
Myers
for taking my call, guys.
All right, Dirk. Thanks to Brandon Myers for being our guest today. We really appreciate it. Hope the listeners enjoyed listening to a former Hawk talk about his success, talk about the program here. A lot of good stuff going on. And tomorrow's game, 11 o'clock, Iowa versus Maryland. And let's see, what else we got? Anything else? I mean,
the Battle for the Boot tonight.
Battle for the Boot tonight. Richard and I will have JV and varsity, and then we'll have Don Patterson again on Monday to look back at what we hope is a victory over
Ask
Maryland.
Don if he's last time he listened to Pigs on a Pig.
Don's right in that. He's right about their age.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I'd be funny if you asked him, and then instead of answering, he just puts it on.
Either that or hangs up. Hello?
Captain, dumbass, knucklehead.
it's
Gavin
the unfriendly guy.
Why can't he be friendly? Why does he have to be unfriendly?
Because he was unfriendly in life. He's unfriendly.
It's not going to change now.
Yeah.
I would much rather see a Gavin the Friendly Ghost. He calls on and supports us.
You'll have to listen to another station. This ghost is pissed.
All right, life is just too short to be pissed. That's kind of.
He's dead.
Here we go, 10:30. Here come the calls.
Hello.
But Steve, everything he did was out of love.
Yeah, sure it was. Hawkeyes.
Wasn't that how they reported it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No.
They made him a saint.
Yeah, I didn't know who died. I mean,
what the hell are they talking
What do you think
about?
it was, like Gandhi?
Yeah, everything he did was out of love. Hello.
Hi, can I speak to Steve Bridges, please?
Yes. Hi, Rob.
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to say happy anniversary. 10 years ago today, you became my Facebook friend, and both of our lives have really spiraled out of control since that very moment. And I want to just close by saying I don't like Pink Floyd.
Ah, Jesus!
I'm sorry.
We are.
Play Pigs on a Wing.
Play Pigs on a Wing sometime, and then get back to us.
But I'm sure I can't because once again I was fired by that station at Ocean City. So yeah, they cited budget concerns. I said, "You've got to be kidding me!" Based on my paycheck, I said, "If everyone used one less packet of sugar a week, you could pay for my show." I don't know, but you know what? I think the problem is the real reason they fired me. They said I didn't play enough Henry Mancini.
You love the Henry Mancini.
I do. I put him just above Pink Floyd.
Does he ever do a version of Pigs on the Wing? I'd listen to that.
I would too. I think that would be strong.
But
Anyway, I won't keep you because I know you're in the middle. What is this Newsmaker Roundup? Is that what we're doing right now?
That's what it is.
Yeah. I thought for a while, I said, why is he running Meet the Press? Oh, it's just Steve's show. No, I just wanted to say happy anniversary, Steve. And 10 years it flew by like the blink of an eye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Steve, you kind of started when Led Zeppelin started.
No, I did.
Your career kind of coincides with Led Zeppelin's career.
Well, I started in 65.
Well, actually, you were before. You were with the Yardbirds.
Yeah, I remember. I seriously remember saying, "Here's a new band. Here's a new song." I seriously
remember saying, "Here's
doing
a new
that
band,
a lot."
The Yardbirds.
Yeah,
God, that's incredible.
I remember saying, "Here's a new song from the Beatles." I mean, seriously, I can
now
remember.
Here's a new song from Bruno Mars.
Now, soon I'll be in a hey. Here's a new headstone, and it's got my name on it.
There's Mindy Perry.
Hello?
Bitch.
What?
That was a nasty word there.
You son of a bitch.
Wow, go. Gavin the Unfriendly.
Getting us sued. Won't that cost money?
No.
They give us a break when they know it's an unfriendly ghost?
Yeah, it's a ghost.
Okay. Yeah, who are you going to sue?
Yeah, really, you can't sue him. Jeez.
All Hawkeyes.com. Get your subscription today.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember.
My sister tells riddles and jokes a lot at the table. Everybody is focused on their food so much, no one takes